Hello, investor. Welcome to the Asset Attitude channel. This is the multiple opportunities reinvest earnings. That's more place to develop a wealth mindset, learn how to make money work for you and increase your value. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships. And the relationship in question is Danae Jackson and Derek Jackson's relationship. She said that while she was with Derek Jackson, he slept with nearly 100 women.
Wow.
I know, that's amazing. If you don't know who Derek Jackson is, he is a relationship guru who's pretty famous on the internet. But even though he's famous, you may not know who he is. You can look him up. But the main thing we're going to focus on is the fact that she invested in a person who was her husband. She invested in a person thinking that if she were to stay by his side, do everything that he wanted, even allow him to sleep with other people and record it, and she watched the recording and tried to imitate what the other girls were doing with him. She thought that was going to keep him happy, make him happy, and keep them together. Yes, anytime you put your eggs in the basket of people, you will be disappointed. Or if you're not disappointed, people pass away sooner or later. So here at the Asset Attitude channel, we say that the best thing to invest in are the 5 asset classes. That's cash, equity, fixed income, real estate, commodities. You invest in them. The money you get as a return on investment, you can use that to pay for liabilities and expenses. And as you grow your wealth, you can create generational wealth. Now, if you don't want to use the return on investment to pay for liabilities and expenses, and you want to reinvest earnings, which is more, M-O-R-E, multiple opportunity reinvest earnings, that is the best way to grow your nest egg and ensure that you are able to travel down retirement road. There are a lot of people who are getting retirement accounts, or they're working and hoping that one day they'll draw from Social Security. And the problem with retirement accounts and Social Security is that they do not outpace inflation. Yeah, so between some retirement accounts eaten up by the stock market collapsing or crashing, and then you also have fees and taxes, they do not outpace inflation, which means that by the time you do draw from them, the cost of living will be so high that you're either going to have to reduce your quality of life or still work.
And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust, hey.
Yes, and you don't want to be in that boat. I've gone to Walmart a couple of times and seen someone who's like 70 out there working, struggling. And it's more than likely that occurs when someone is older and, golden years, and they're taking care of family members, or they made decisions that were not in their best interest and now they have to work. No matter what choice was made, the choices they made brought them to that situation where they're in their golden years and they still got to work. We all make choices, and in the end, our choices make us. So Danae Jackson, she said her provider male, Derek Jackson, he was a provider, but he also provided financial abuse. And the financial abuse is one of many reasons why I do not necessarily support putting all of your time and energy into another person. You should definitely put yourself first, even in relationships. Now, your only obligation is your significant other and your children, but you still want to put yourself first, because Monday you both can be lovey-dovey, and then Friday you find out someone was cheating, and now you both are at war with each other. So now what ends up happening is you got people cleaning out bank accounts, you got physical altercation, people fighting over the kids. And unfortunately, in this modern age, the first sign of trouble, people don't turn to each other, they turn on each other. You want to make sure that you're able to provide for yourself no matter what. Danae was not able to because she depended on Derek Jackson 100%. And he was telling her, even though they have a mansion, a condo, they have exotic cars, they have a lot of things, that there was no money to keep her cell phone on.
Going down that path, and I didn't really tell him because he was, he's at the condo working. so he's out, he's providing, and I'm out here.
Give you that nice little soft life you live in.
Yes. And I'm like, yes.
So you can have 3 therapists and
exactly.
All that.
Listen, shout out to all 3 of them therapists. They had their work cut out for them. And yes, so.
And so what was the breaking point for you to get up and leave and go to Denver?
So when he said I was crazy, because I was like, you need to be delivered and we need to go now. And this is what needs to happen.
So he called your mom and you said, forget it, I'm going.
I was like, it took a couple of days. And I was like, okay, I feel like I can't just leave. So I'm like, okay, we need to go to therapy. We need to work this out. And I'm texting him because he's like not answering my calls. He's like, if you come to the condo, I'm going to call the police on you. All these, I'm like, okay. I was texting him. I'm like, okay, we have to figure out how to work this out. The best way for us to do this is for you to come here and we can figure it out. Like, and he was basically like, I'm not coming back there. Like, I would rather be separated from you than to be miserable.
She's his wife, mother of his children, because he's been cheating the entire relationship, because they started off as a situationship and she allowed drama to be in their marriage the entire time they were married. He doesn't care about her at all. He is saying he'd rather be separated than be miserable with her. That, combined with the fact that he's cheating with so many different people, he is now the enemy. Yes, that is why I do not support people cheating and cheating back and trying to stay in the relationship or the marriage to honor vows. You could be vowed to someone who is the enemy. So you're trying to honor vows and they're trying to take your head off. And what sense does that make? What sense does that make? And to come to find out, he wanted the condo, saying that he was going to go there to do work as far as content, as a content creator. But come to find out, he really wanted the condo so he could have a whole nother life, other relationships with other people, and cheat in peace.
With you in the same house. And I was like, Mom, my bags are packed. When can you be here? And she was on the flight the next morning, flew in, and we drove, or I can't even say we drove. I drove like 80 miles an hour to Denver.
All the way from Atlanta to Denver.
Yes.
How long is that trip?
It's a 24-hour drive. I drove the first 15 hours pretty much straight through. She had to force me to stop driving.
You were just motivated on adrenaline.
I was adrenaline, and I was just like so upset. And then I was kind of scared too, because I'm like, I can't believe like I'm actually doing this. He's gonna freak out when he realizes that I'm gone, because I didn't say anything. I didn't send my phone was actually right. My phone was actually turned off at the time because there was like a little financial crisis that started happening around that time too.
Financial
so my phone was
crisis.
actually turned off. So I was like, this is
You
perfect.
don't just slide by that financial crisis, had your phone cut off. What?
My phone was cut off at
I
the
live in a
time.
9,000 square foot house and your phone get cut off.
He was working at the condo, so.
It could have been a financial crisis, just oversight of the bill being paid.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a 9,000 square foot house.
I don't know. I
wasn't.
See, what happened was he got tired of her calling him, so he stopped paying her cell phone bill, so the cell phone would be cut off, so he could cheat in peace. And because she didn't have access to the money, because she wasn't making any money, she was a stay-at-home mom, housewife, she just didn't have a cell phone. So she traveled 24 hours across the country with no cell phone. If it wasn't for her mom being there, she would have had no way to call anyone if an emergency happened.
Even involved with the finances. So that's what I've been told.
Yep, she was not involved with the finances. A lot of women are saying they want a high value man, want him to make 6 figures, mid 6 figures, this and that. Well, he agrees to pay for everything, including the bills or liabilities and expenses you come into the relationship with. But because you're not involved with the finances and you don't have access to the finances and you're quote unquote resting in your femininity, he can at will cut you off. Cut off your cell phone, cut off credit cards, cut off maybe even debit card. He can cut you off if he feels like it, and you're at his mercy. You have nothing. That is financial abuse. It's where two people are in a relationship or married. Only one person has complete access to the finances and the other person completely at the mercy of the other person. And now Derek Jackson, he was choosing to do all this and cut her off. Danae said that she did not tell him that she was leaving, and that's the only reason why she was able to communicate with her mother. She probably used the Wi-Fi at the house. That's the only way she was able to communicate with her mother to go there to help her, because she did it in secret. And that's what it boils down to. Two people who are supposed to be together forever, vows and all. One person turns on the other, and now the other person's having to scheme, plan, and almost escape like Indiana Jones escaping the Temple of Doom.
Let's go!
So
You've been told.
Yeah, because I wasn't involved in it.
He just told you what?
It's a financial crisis. It was a financial crisis from what I understand.
Define financial crisis.
Define it. Define it, because there was sure a Lamborghini.
That's what I'm saying.
See, she probably was asking questions, and he told her, "Get out of his face. You're worrying me with molehills and little stuff. I gotta work." What it really was that he was really concerned with the women that he was messing with, because that was his concern. That was like his real life. Danae was more of a pet to him, a nuisance. And see, as a pet, he's saying, "Hey, go outside and go into the doghouse. Get out of my face. Don't bother me with this. Don't bother me with that. You're irritating me." That's the abusive language. You go to your partner with concerns, questions, and they're telling you, "You're irritating me. You're bothering me. Get out of my face. You're worried about stupid stuff. That's a you problem." All of that gaslighting, abusive, controlling, evil language is designed to somewhat dismiss you, and through them systematically breaking you down emotionally, lowering your self-esteem, you're going to comply because you don't want to see this person's wrath, even though you know this person's doing you wrong and that they're giving their fun side to somebody else.
And Bentley's sitting up here doing car videos with a Bentley.
There was a lot of stuff. So I don't know where it all went, but we had a financial crisis and my phone was turned off. So at that time it was turned off, and
well, how long was it cut off? About a couple hours?
Days.
See,
Days. And so it kind of worked out, because then.
So his phone is cut on, but your phone is cut off. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so really, she was having a financial crisis. He was just fine.
He can immediately call me, and my mom's not answering the phone. So there's that. But by the time I actually got to Denver, he was already there. So
he was?
He was.
So they drove from Atlanta to Denver in Colorado. He was there when they got there because he had enough money for a plane ticket, yet there's a financial crisis and she can't have an active working phone. Yep.
He flew down there while I was driving.
He flew, and he was at my mom's old address because he had looked her stuff up online and went to her old address. Didn't realize that she had moved, and so he was at the wrong address.
Looking someone's information up online, that costs money too. So another expense that he's spending, even though there's a financial crisis.
And I called him when I got there. I was like, okay, at minimum, I could call him when I'm actually there.
Yeah.
Let him know. He's like, I need, let's talk. He's standing outside. I'm outside. I'm like, outside where? And it's snowing. And he's like, I'm outside. Let's talk. And I'm like, she doesn't even live there anymore. And I'm like, I don't think I should be coming out right now. Like, we just got off the road. And my mom is in the background, like, you just got off the road. You are not going anywhere. And then she's on the phone with someone and shit. They're like, get off that phone. He can wait. Right. And which then brought in a whole nother dynamic because it's like, your mom is controlling your behavior and your actions, and she's keeping you away and telling you what to say and what to do. So then that became a whole nother dynamic. And I'm just.
Yep. The abuser is gonna try to cut you off from family and friends who can save you and even be a voice of reason. Because if the only person you're communicating with is the abuser, they can easily manipulate, they can program, and they can get you to think the way they want you to think, especially if you don't have an outlet.
Like head spin.
So how long did it take for you to connect with him while he was in Denver?
We met the next day. We met at IHOP and with the kids. My mom dropped me and the kids off. And he was.
See, I wouldn't have got dropped off. Because you getting dropped off is kind of like now you're with him. You all just drove 24 hours to get away from him and his abuse. Now you're getting dropped off and you're basically with him again.
It's like, how long are you going to be here? And I was like, I don't know, a couple weeks, still not saying like, I know, about all this stuff that's going on. And he was like, well, like, you just going to leave? Like, how do you just going to leave like that and not say anything? And I'm like, yeah. Like, you decided you wanted to stay at the condo. I can't stay in this house by myself. And so he's like, so you're just going to keep the kids away from me? And I'm like, I'm not even trying to do that. But I take care of them pretty much by myself. Been doing it by myself for.
Now, he is spending all day, all night at this condo with other women. Now, all of a sudden, he's concerned with the children. Now, all of a sudden, he wants her to come back home, which she's going to be going back to the mansion, not the condo. This is just foolishness. The rest of this interview is foolishness. And I understand that somebody who is in an abusive relationship, abusive situation, they're not thinking straight, they're being manipulated and all that. We're not here to really focus on that aspect. We're here to focus on the fact that she didn't have access to funds or finances. She was at his mercy, and we should not be at the mercy of others for any reason. Now, people who will just say they are in desperate need, they tend to turn to different avenues in order to get funds. One of the avenues they turn to are payday loan places, cash advance places, basically micro lending institutions. If Danae didn't have her mom to help her and she was cut off as far as her phone bill or phone, cut off from money, it's possible she could have went to a micro lending place, took out a micro loan, and that could have been something to help her get on her feet and get away. Easier said than done, I know, but it's something. Now, I wouldn't want to put myself in that position. You shouldn't either. But there are lots of people who do, for whatever reason, get put in that situation. Welcome to Advance America. Yes, it's a place where people who, I hate to be the one to say it, they're in need. They go there, they get loans. All right. So Advance America, they got loans. They're almost in every state in the United States. They're pretty much international. You can get a payday loan, cash advance, emergency loan, line of credit, online loan, title loan, installment loans. I'm not here to advertise them. This does not constitute legal or financial advice. I'm not an investment banker. I'm not an investment guru. If you want one of those, get one of those for entertainment purposes only. And this is not an endorsement of Advance America. I'm not saying to use their services, and I'm not saying to use their services or not use them. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who are in Danae's situation that end up having to turn to these type of places. And with inflation being the way it is and the economy being bad, for a lot of people who have not been planning for worst case scenario and all scenarios, they're going to turn to stuff like this. So you can be on the winning side of this by investing in them. The company that owns them is called Grupo Elektra. It is a Mexican company. Grupo is currently trading at 1137 and 72 Mexican peso. So what you're seeing in front of you is not 1,137 and 72 cents. It's 1137 and 72 Mexican peso. If you're in the United States like I am and you use the US dollar, you got to convert it. When you're doing Forex exchange, you're going to have to do a lot of conversion, no problem. So right now at the making of this broadcast, it's May 25th. The markets are closed. The Grupo stock closed at 1137. When converting the 1137 to US dollar, all you're paying is south of $64. Not bad at all. Each share is going to be the $64 amount. I just rounded up. This is looking at it from the last 5 years. The stock has pretty much climbed as far as people investing in it and the barrier of entry. That's in the last 5 years. In the last year, it's looking like it typically goes down a little bit during the summer and has a steady flow all the way till when school starts back up in the fall. So if $64 is not going to make or break the bank, I recommend adding it to your portfolio or just jumping in like I'm going to do. They are a Mexican financial and retailing corporation. Oh, and also when you go to invest in them, because it's a foreign market, when you go to your financial institution like Bank of America, US Bank, or whatever, tell them or ask them you want to invest in the over-the-counter bulletin, and you're going to give them the ticker symbol of MXN. They'll be able to handle it from there. So it's a Mexican financial and retailing corporation established by Hugo Salinas Price. The company operates in Latin America, and they are the largest non-bank provider of cash advance services in the U.S. They are number one, offers appliances, consumer electronics, furniture, motorcycles, mobile phones, computers, basically everything that would help someone who is low income be able to survive. And that's what they specialize in. They specialize in microtransactions, i.e. payday loans, cash advances, stuff that has a high interest rate, title loans, all that. And I recommend being on the winning side and investing in them so that when people do have to turn to a company, Advanced America, for a lifeline, you can make money when they make money. All right. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell, share. I am CK. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.